So, I'm in my apartment complex. Regal Vista Apartments. And as you know, I've been going back and forth with my landlord on different issues pretty much since I moved in, but I moved in here around 2011. Honestly, after so long, my dates and stuff starts getting mixed up because I've been in a lot of stress. So you might hear me say something that might contradict the date, but don't hold me to the exact date. But trust me, I've been here a long, long time. I I never really had. No, I ain't never had really had. I've never had to fight a landlord before, and I think this is where the issue is coming in at. I actually don't like to fight where I live. Um, my home, my apartment, wherever I live, it's my refuge. It's my secret space. It's where I recharge, rejuvenate. I don't like to argue. I don't like to fight in where I live. And I also, what I have found out is I do suffer from emotional distress. It is triggered by, it's called situational depression. And I do suffer from emotional distress, anxiety, and depression, and panic attacks. And I'm not going to say that I've always had these problems, but they became noticeable when my nephew died, when he was murdered in 2013. That's when I started really noticing that there was a problem with my emotional distress. And I did go to my therapist, and I went to my 5 sessions, and I just went back to work. And I really tried to just uh, go back to life as normal, but things kind of did get stirred up around that time. And while I did try to go back to work, like everything was normal, things never got normal. Okay, so I had that incident. It let me know, hey, something's off, something feels funny, emotionally not right. But hey, I brushed it off just like everybody else, and I kept on working. I kept going through life. Then 2019 hit, and it was like I just got a notice saying my rent was going up like $200. I think last year, the year before, went up 200, and it almost went up to like 14. I want to say it almost went to 14, $1,500. And I literally had to go in there and fight for my life. I did not have $1,500. Meanwhile, since I've lived at this place, I have put in regular maintenance requests. And the reason why I keep looking is because I'm trying to see. I'm looking for my Xfinity guy to show up, and I don't want to miss him. So I'm trying to do this video, but I have to get it out because it's just weighing on me. And I'm just right now. There's so many emotions going through me. I don't even know where to start. But all I know is that because I decided to stand up for myself, I lived here since 2011. I have been putting in regular maintenance requests. Some of them they were filling, some of them they weren't. However, whenever they did fill it, especially when it related to my ceiling and my roof, they actually made it worse. I started out with just one leak in the kitchen. Then it morphed into 2, possibly 3. But they never really broke through, like the leaks never broke through. But they got darker and darker and darker and just very ugly. And I would call and ask for them to fix it. And they would come, and if they bothered to show up. But when they finally did, they would poke holes in the ceiling. And next thing you know, my one hole turned into like 6 to 9 leaks. So that's the videos that you see. And like I said, I have been living here since some limits. So for my rent to go from when I first moved here, my rent started at 5. Okay. And then it went to now they try to put me at 14, 1500. I'm trying to figure out what in God's name am I paying that kind of money for? Um, Look, I don't like to make waves, especially where I live. I got my hand got forced. You got me in this place. If you're wanting money, I want a return on my investment. I've always put in maintenance requests. What I fail to do is follow up. When I would put in maintenance requests, I would give them a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After that, I would forget. Honestly, I would forget. Then something else would trigger me, remind me, especially when it would rain and I would look up and it would get me all riled up again. And then also I kept getting sick. I kept coming down with like bronchitis and I couldn't understand why. And one time I was literally sick for 2 weeks straight, or it was either a week straight or 2 weeks straight, but definitely a week. I was on the couch. I remember being on the couch, being so sick that I couldn't even get up at all. I didn't go to work that whole week. And one thing about me, I may not be the most, you know, just the one that just loves to work all the time. No, I'm not. But I will work. And I know if I'm a waitress, I don't make money when I don't work. So I was waiting tables at the time. I was out a whole week. I couldn't even get up. I was so sick. So as time progressed, I started to really like wonder like what is going on. Like I said, I moved in 2011. My rent started to really go up exorbitant in like 2017, and then it really tried to go high in 2019. So I was like, you mean to tell me you want to charge me like rent, like I'm staying in a lavish place, and you won't even have the decency to fix my apartment? I didn't even know about the fact that I was developing sleep apnea and the bronchitis was due to, the mold that was in there. And then when I found out and I had it verified that it was mold, I felt so stupid. I had three cats, not at the same time, but I had a cat. That cat died. Had another cat. That cat died. Had a third cat. That cat died. Um, but I mean, I just didn't put it together. I just didn't put it together. But when I gotta say, this is definitely a time that I was not tracking. Okay, I don't know who knows me, but anybody knows me knows I'm highly intelligent on all levels, on all levels. But I will say that there's times, okay, and they'll probably tell you this too, that there's times that I have blind moments that I just can. If I get stressed out about something, I cannot figure it out. Like I can't make sense of it. I can't understand it. I can't rationalize it. I can't understand it. There's times in my life where that happens, um, and now I realize it's an emotional, stressful response. So, for example, I've been a math tutor for how long? For a while. I probably tutored students in math and English, over 400 students. If I get stressed, I can't tell you what 2 plus 2 is. I really can't. Like, I would literally pull out a calculator. Okay, 2 plus 2 is obvious. But, like, if you say 35 plus 65, I'd be like, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get my calculator. I never really been one of those people that can just count on the spot anyway. I was one of them. I got to write it down. But the point is, I can't even do that. Okay, I can't even quiet my mind long enough to even get to even arrive at the answer. Um, if I'm stressed, I better not get on anybody's computer and start paying bills, because I've been and paid bills twice, and I mean, thank God they got filters for that now. But some companies, they don't have filters; they'll let you pay the bill twice. and good luck getting the money back. They be like, girl, you pay early next month. But just knowing what happens, like I can't concentrate. My heart starts pounding. My mind starts racing. I can't get still. I can't really move forward. Like I could be working on something and I cannot. I will be paralyzed. Where people might think I'm functioning, but I know I'm not because I know what I'm like when I'm fully functional and tracking. And for this, I have to say I've been derelict on the job, and I will say that I suffered. I suffered from my health because now I have permanent health issues because of the mold that was in the apartment. And so this is the frustrating thing. Because I decided to stand up, and I did reach out to the local news media, CBS 46 did help me relocate to another place. I was so happy. I was just so overjoyed that anybody even picked up the phone to help because generally I'm the helper. Okay, I help everybody. I save everybody. I put my best forward. I spend my last to help others. I'm an empath, so empath we care more about others than we do ourselves. We'll put other people first and ourselves last. But then when we need help, it's like nobody to help us. So now, because I have gone to code enforcement and I've gone to the news media now because I have been silent so long, but I finally decided to stand up because my life has value, my health has value, my health has a dollar sign attached to it. Once you lose good health, you can't get it back. So this was 2019. I moved into a new place in 2019, and it was covered in roaches. And I just couldn't believe for the life of me how if I did everything right, I checked everything for 2 months straight. I called, I asked them to spray, they didn't, and here it is. I literally recall calling on the phone and asking for pest control to go to the place. So I thought 4 weeks of pest control, hey, I should be good to go. But when I moved in, and the reason why I did that, when I did the walkthrough, I saw some dead roaches on the counter. And I'm smart enough to know, hey, if there's dead roaches, there may be live roaches. So that's why I was calling ahead in advance, asking them to spray once a week. Because I heard that the spray person comes once a week. So I was like, that's what's up. Let me call. They said I had to call every Friday or whatever, call once a week, get put on the list. So that's what I was doing. And the man wasn't even coming because he wasn't leaving any signs that he had been. No, no sign whatsoever. So then, I kind of figured that out that all the effort that I put into making sure that this move was going to be a better one. I was more woke now. I realized that I suffered from silence. I suffered from not knowing. I suffered from ignorance. I suffered from being poor. Once I realized that all of those at the end of the day means one big loss, one big L, I say, you know what? I'm going to take steps. I'm going to be more proactive this time. And I think anybody would, knowing that I have sleep apnea that I didn't have. I wasn't born with sleep apnea. I didn't develop it until I lived in that place. Yes, I suffer with my weight, but in the past, but I have never been the weight, um, the weight that I am now. I've never been this size before. Um, and I realized that it's also a byproduct of, inhaling black toxic mold. Um, Overweight, trouble sleeping. I had so much insomnia. There was no way I was getting any rest. I remember having insomnia. I suffer with it from time to time now, and I definitely have it now for sure. But I remember having insomnia for 2 years straight, and not even when I lived over there, and not even knowing like these were. But when I Googled black mold and all the symptoms, I was practically textbook. With all the symptoms that I had, I was textbook, and I was blown away. And so now that I'm in this place with the roaches, I did spray, I did bomb this apartment 27 times. I didn't even know how to spray. I didn't even know how to bomb because I was scared. I, I thought you would blow up if you did the if you did the roach bomb and you didn't know how to turn off the pilot light to the water heater. I thought you blew up. But I did talk to Bo Beth Yates. She is the CBS. She was, I don't know if she works for CBS anymore, but she was working for CBS 46 at the time, and she let me know, hey, this is what you need to do. And I was like, but I'm scared. I said, because I keep watching these videos on news shows about people who blew up their apartment because they, they set the roach bomb too close to the water heater and blew the whole place up. Actually, I used to be a news reporter, and that was actually one of the stories that I actually went to. And that's why this whole situation is ironic, because when I was a reporter, I did cover substandard housing, slumlords, and to be actually in the middle of one of the biggest slumlords I've ever seen. Never, I've never seen anything like this. Like, I didn't even know this was possible to pay, over $1,000 for a place and have to beg them a whole year to fix your tub. Like, I literally called this lady. I texted her. I emailed her. I emailed the whoever I thought the regional manager was. The property changed hands so many times. Um, and I know I'm rambling, but that's because I'm just frustrated. When you're frustrated, you just feel like helpless. Like, this is, and I'm a rambler. Okay, let's be real. I'm a rambler. And one thing about me, I'm never going to lie about who I am. The good, the bad, the ugly. You can find it all on my page. I don't lie. I don't lie. I don't lie about anything. I have no reason to lie. First of all, I feel like it's too hard to keep up with lies. It's too hard. All I know is that I paid these people for a service, and they flat out refused to do it. So because they flat out refused to do it, I have been as patient can be. I used the remedies that they said. I've emailed them. I've come up there. I put a request in writing. They refused to fix my tub for a whole year. And the straw that broke the camel back is that I had a good friend. She was coming down east. It was like, you know, I have been dealing with this on my own. But it's one thing for you to deal with something. It is another thing for somebody to see your hurt, to see your pain up close and personal. I feel like as black women, we don't get to show our pain. We're so strong. Yes, I'm very strong. I'm very intelligent. I'm not helpless. But there's times that I just shut down. And when I shut down, I become helpless because I don't even know where to go. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to go. And even now, I can't even really get upset anymore because I've been diagnosed with high blood pressure. And so when I get upset, it causes me to have shortness of breath. I don't know if this is it or my panic attacks a lot, but I get shortness of breath. I can't. And the reason I'm even talking about this is because I have an active case with the DeKalb County Code Enforcement, and this lady is just refusing to fix anything in this apartment. I had a sink that was stopped up. It was stopped up for like 2 or 3 days. She just wouldn't even come. Like, she just doesn't even respond to any request. She takes me back and forth with a long email trail, and she never When she finally comes over, she's very just demeaning. She's condescending. She's telling me, "Oh, well, why do I want to stay here? Well, why don't you just leave?" This is the thing that she's saying to me. Her name is Elizabeth Cabral. She's not an American. Well, she's not a natural born American. And I could care less about that because some of my best friends are not American. But they have never treated me like this lady has. And I'm just speechless because it's because she's not American. And she doesn't understand what it's like for a black woman in America to barely hang on because maybe we're not making the income that we need to be making to be able to move to these expensive places, because it's not just about you paying your rent. There's other bills that go in. There's car note and electricity and water and gas for your car and food and other bills. And these all have to be met every month without fail, cannot be late. And it's so hard to even manage. Sometimes, you try your best to manage with your salary, but let's face it, things happen, um, and you try your best to find a job that's stable, that's gonna, it may not pay you the amount that an astronaut makes, but it's decent money. And I just never like to go in and demand anything from anybody. And so I would never demand, hey, let me get a raise or bump my salary up by XYZ just so I can stay in this raggedy place. Like, so now she's putting me out and she's not renewing my lease. I've lived here since 2011. And I won't say that my payment history has been perfect from 2011 to 2015 because it wasn't. Um, but I didn't always have the knowledge that I have about the importance of paying things on time. And I was able to make that transition in 2015 where I was paying regularly on time since 2015. I've never missed a payment. I've never been late since 2015. That's 7 whole years. And now, because I just don't have the money to move, I don't have the money to move. I don't have money. Like right now, the housing crisis is through the roof. It's through the roof. Like, I have people right now making 6 figures that are struggling to find an affordable place. I This is no joke. I'm not putting myself in their position, but I'm just saying there's a housing crisis here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I don't know what to do. I have to vacate this place December 31st. I have an active code enforcement case with DeKalb County. It is illegal for her to try to put me out, uh, evict me, or cause any retaliation, to do any retaliation, when I have an active code enforcement case. And you know, a lot of times, it's funny because I remember fighting for people in my position, fighting to make sure they were getting quality housing. And I was tough on landlords. I was tough. Oh, you ain't want me to come after you. And I held them accountable. But now, when I need someone to hold a landlord accountable, I'm not getting the help that I need.